time to get back to reality and let's address it. Are the 49ers, is it hype? I'm gonna say yes, because I look at it like this. And Grant, correct me if I'm wrong. They who have they beat?
No one.
No one. Okay. Now coming into the season, this was a team that was already predicted to be one of the top teams in the league. Now they sitting at 6-4 in the worst division in the league, and all of their wins have came against subpar teams.
Yep.
Them being first in the division, y'all are doing what you're supposed to do
Yep.
at bare minimum. Because
Right.
really the 6-4 record, they should be more like what? 9-1?
9-1.
They should be more like 9-1.
Can we compare the Niners to the Eagles? So the Eagles are 9-1. And yet everyone's like, I don't know. Their quarterback's inexperienced and their coach hasn't done it. I mean, I like the Niners. The Niners are the team to beat in the NFC. The Niners are 6-4. They've won nothing. They're not champions. They messed around the first half of the year, and yet they get more of the benefit of the doubt than the Eagles. I think it's interesting. Maybe the Niners are better than the Eagles, but I don't know. I don't get that.
They definitely. I think if they played right now, I think the Eagles will probably win that game. If I'm just being all the way honest, I think the Eagles will probably win that game. Just because I feel like the Eagles have played more quality opponents. It's a thin margin, right? It's a thin margin. They barely played teams better than the 49ers, but you got to look at the end result. The 49ers are 6-4. The Eagles are 9-1.
Right.
Know?
Everything you say about the Eagles, like, well, they haven't faced anyone. Okay, same with the Niners. But at least the Eagles didn't give away games.
Yeah. Exactly. And then if you look at the history of this team, like this team thrives in mediocrity, right? Like Jimmy Garoppolo is like the epitome of how this team thrives in mediocrity, because any other organization would have already replaced Jimmy right now. They tried to replace Jimmy and they couldn't even do that right. And I understand Jimmy is playing good, but I left the comment in the chat. I said, Jimmy gets the most credit for doing the bare minimum. What he did against the Cardinals was the bare minimum. You're supposed to do that, right? But
Andy Dalton did the same thing last week against the Rams, and no one made a big deal about it. 3 touchdowns, Dalton, 150 quarterback rating. It's Andy Dalton.
Was it against the Cardinals? Andy Dalton threw for like 4 touchdowns and ran for another one, had over 300 yards passing. Like, he went nuts against the Cardinals too. So look, man, Jimmy, all right, bro, you playing good. Let's see it in the playoffs. 49ers, y'all done won 3 straight games. Okay, let's see you take it all the way to the playoffs, win a Super Bowl. The standard was supposed to be a Super Bowl, but now we celebrating regular season wins.
It's like, it's good enough for them to be like, hey, we're the best team on paper right now. We've proven ourselves. No, like, it's not about being the best team on paper at Thanksgiving. It's about actually winning the Super Bowl. And I still feel like they celebrated losing the Super Bowl 3 years ago and said, you know what? We should have won. We were better. Doesn't matter. No one cares.
Yeah. But the fan base, they're going to disagree because I'm a fan, but I'm a realistic fan, right? So the fan base is always going to have this just natural, if everything we've said about the team is not positive, then we really not for the team. But guys, you got to stop and realize these guys are getting paid millions of dollars to play this game, millions of dollars to coach this game. If they underperforming, they underperforming. It's not like we being unfair or unbiased. Look at it, losing to the Bears, losing. I let the Chiefs game go. Chiefs are a good team. Losing to the Broncos. Like, it's not like if the 4 losses was to the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Cowboys, teams like that, all right, cool. You lost to good teams. But when you losing to the lowest of the low, I don't care how the loss came, that's unacceptable. And I think a lot of fans speak from a point of view of, hey, I'm just a fan watching the game. If you played sports before, for real, oh no, that's unacceptable on any level, even Pop Warner. You losing to teams you shouldn't be losing to, it's unacceptable, period. And any recognition that you get hyped doing this, any recognition you get during this regular season is purely hype, because you haven't shown us that you can do anything. You lost the Super Bowl, then you came back and lost an NFC Championship game after a season in between that when you were outright losers. That is a degradation. That's you degrading.
Yeah.
You're degrading. You went from losing the Super Bowl to an NFC championship. There's nothing to celebrate about that.
No.
Period.
No.
But
And don't
that's all
and when you beat another division opponent that's under 500, don't stand up and beat your chest and say we're back. Back? You didn't win anything. You're still on the quest to prove yourself. And that's what I don't like about this team. Like, the Eagles are on the quest to prove themselves, but they're a young team that hasn't been there and everyone's doubting them. The Niners are like, we've been here. We've proven ourselves. We're the best. No, you haven't proven yourself. No, you're not. You're not champions, and you still should have that chip on your shoulder that you have accomplished something you haven't done. But the Niners have this attitude like, give us our flowers.
It's one person on this organization that seems like, hey, I got something to prove, and I'm not gonna say one. I'm gonna say two entities on this team to say I got something to prove, and I'm gonna prove it. That's Brandon Ayuk.
Yep.
I ain't forget last summer y'all was crapping on that man.
Mm-hmm.
I've been saying he better than Debo. If you can't turn on the film and see that, I'm not even gonna bother arguing with you. And the defense is playing like they got something to prove. It don't matter. It don't matter if they 10 injuries on that side of the ball. It don't matter if it's they full strength. They playing with the same intensity, the same sense of urgency.
Also,
every
Elijah Mitchell.
Game.
Elijah Mitchell.
Oh, Elijah Mitchell. We're not even gonna. I'm gonna tell you what. If Kyle get into that, only want to use him as a closer, we're not gonna win the Super Bowl. You got to work him in through all phases of the game. He's
got to be part of the opening script.
Yeah.
All right, man. Great call, man. Great stuff. Thank you.